Throughout the years, Hollywood have put out movies that put a child's mind in an adult body. In 1988, we had 3 of them. 18 Again with George Burns, Vice Versa with Judge Reynolds and Fred Savage, and Big with Tom Hanks. But as opposed to the other 2, in Big, we do not have a body and mind changing. Rather, we have our hero grow up overnight and stay within essentially his own body, with a little bit of a modification, of course. This situation allows our hero to fulfill one of the oldest wishes a child makes. I wish I was an adult. But is the movie any good? I'm Meffistoe. Like, share, and subscribe because this is my review of the movie Big.
She'll wrap her legs around you so tight you'll be begging for mercy.
Well, I'll stay away from her then.
Big is one of those movies that everyone remembers for one scene in particular. You may have seen that scene in the past, but you've never seen the movie. The first time I saw anything involving with this movie was this scene. And it is the one where Tom Hanks and Robert Loggia do the chopsticks on a big floor piano. The story of the movie tells of a boy named Josh. He's almost 13 years old, he has a middle school crush, and he hangs out with his best friend Billy. Things take a left turn when Josh visits a roaming carnival with his parents and finds a weird fortune-telling machine called Zoltar that supposedly fulfills your wishes. Josh wishes he was big, but doesn't think anything will happen. In the next morning, though, something happened. Josh tries to find the carnival, but it has already left during the night. He tries to convince his mom to help him out, but all she sees is a strange older man in her house. Desperate, he finds Billy and convinces him that he is truly Josh. The two go to New York to hide out and maybe locate the Zoltar machine to reverse Josh back to his real age. Quickly, they realize that the search might take a few weeks. So Josh applies for a job as a computer tech for a toy company.
Social security number?
321725.
What is it?
It's my locker combination.
Great.
Josh's luck really picks up after a random encounter with the CEO of the company in a local toy shop. There, they dance on a piano, and the boss decides to hire Josh as a toy developer since he likes his childlike approach.
Vice president?
And he came from data processing.
He's out of his mind. The old man has finally lost it.
Josh ends up falling in love with an older woman, piss off some of his fellow employees, and even his best friend Billy, as he settles into his new life as an adult.
Hey, you're Josh Baskin, remember? You broke your arm on my roof. You hid in my basement when Robert Dyson was about to rip your head off.
You don't get it, do you? This is important!
But what will he choose at the end? Will he stay as an adult or go back to being a kid?
Pork rinds!
A few weeks back, I reviewed A League of Their Own, a Penny Marshall movie. On that review, I mentioned that I truly love her earlier work. All of her 4 first films have heartwarming characters and heartwarming moments in them. And in between, a little bit of humor and levity, even in Awakenings. But the major factor why this movie works is down to Tom Hanks' performance. People may have forgotten, but back in the 80s, Hanks was that quirky comedic guy that got cast into The Man with the Red Shoe, Bachelor Party, Splash, and Turner and Hooch.
Yeah. Gross.
Hanks has always been a great actor, and when he was cast in those roles, he gave it its absolute best. To me, Big is a step apart from all of those movies. Hanks makes you believe that he is a child trapped in a man's body. He does all the things that a kid from that era would do, regardless of his size or how the outside world views him. He brings that childlike mentality into the toy company development meeting. He shows it again when he's left alone in a shady motel in New York City. And you see it again most glaringly at the company party and, of course, the after party in the limousine.
I mean, there's this invisible line, and even if you're attracted to someone.
And as the movie progresses, you can see it in Hank's face and demeanor, how Josh suddenly changes from this young boy into this responsible adult, forgetting that spirit of playfulness that brought him to that position.
From a building into a robot, right?
Precisely.
Well, what's fun about that?
It's sort of showing us in real time how we as adults lose that teen spirit that Cobain sang about. It is really hard to compare Big to Forrest Gump or Philadelphia or even to The Green Mile. But in the pantheon of Hanks's work, Big is pretty high on my personal list, and it is just that transformation that you see that I appreciate as an adult. As a kid, I wanted to be Josh, and I didn't want him to go back to being a kid until I realized what I was giving up. And this is the question that every child actually has. And when they see this movie, they tackle this head on. Normally, I would mention any other actor, but they were all okay. They were there to support Hanks, and no one really shined next to him. I would gladly recommend this movie to adults and teenagers. Both will enjoy it, and both will get something completely different out of it. It's hilarious to see what situations Billy and Josh get into and how thoughtful other situations Josh gets into later in the movie.
Let's imagine that Larry Bird is going to score 10 points in a quarter, okay?
Yeah, okay.
So how many points is he going to score in the entire game?
That's easy. That's 40 points.
Exactly. That's algebra.
To write this review, I normally watch the movie and do a quick behind-the-scenes research, just in order to get things straight. For the first time ever, I watched the big extended cut, and I have to say that most of the scenes that were added were not necessary and only contributed to Josh's transformation into this responsible adult. But unfortunately, it only makes the movie feel a little bit more sluggish and overly long. I will actually suggest that if you pick up this movie, you'll watch the original cut. Trust me, you're not gonna lose any jokes, and the editing is much snappier and more enjoyable. I thank you for watching, and remember, hope is a good thing, may be the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. I'll see you on the next video.